Hello everyone, welcome to the Ichimoku.co daily markets review for the trading day ending March 9th. Firstly to the S&P 500, and here we've seen buying coming into the market today, and that follows Friday's very strong bearish candle, finding resistance at the round number 2100 and selling off very strongly through the important 2093 level and closing with the sellers in control and very strongly committed. But the buyers coming back in today does suggest there is potential for a change of trend back to the upside. Now with the white body featuring here, we have a shift in net momentum away from the sellers to the upside, but the answer to the buyers from the buyers here in relation to the momentum from the sellers from the previous day's trading is really not quite strong enough for us to suggest that the market could test back up to that 2100 level at the moment. The important thing here is that the market has found support within the rectangle highlighted zone of previous support and resistance, and interestingly with the candle where it's actually closed, it's closed just at the top of that area, so that's going to be an important level for the market moving forward tomorrow around that 2079, 2080 level. If we do see the market breach through there and through the high, roughly about 2083 in a bullish manner, we could see the S&P testing up to about the 2093 region. Now we do have a bearish market in the short-term time frame with the market trading down below the Tenkan-sen, and any rally may also find resistance around the Tenkan-sen, which is trading around that 2093 area. If the sellers do come back into the market, potential support down anywhere within this highlighted zone down to the 2040 level. But special attention should be paid to the area around the Kijun-sen indicator, roughly about 2050. Now in terms of the longer term trend and the medium term time frame, we still do have a bullish market in those time frames, and that's supported by the Chikas band. So it's suggesting that we're likely to see the buyers come back into this market eventually, if the market doesn't trade down through the Kijun-sen or through the 2040 level or the region around the cloud. Now just looking at that flag pattern that was set up previously, and we had the close down below the bottom barrier and a bearish close, so we had confirmation of the pattern. These flags tend to be continuation patterns, so we would have expected, in line with the market being bullish in all three timeframes, we would have expected the breakout and the close to be to the upside. But any of these patterns technically can be reversals, but some are more likely to be continuation, as we have with the flag. With the flag and a reversal, the target basically would have been the depth of the flag pattern, the congestion area projected down. So the target certainly hasn't been met. Using the measured move here of the move of the trend into the pattern and then measuring that to the downside really wouldn't be the right thing to do. We have a lot of support down below before the market would meet any target based on that, and really that's the type of target that we'd measure for continuation with the flag pattern. But this pattern is now complete. There is potential for the market to continue trading down with obviously support here at the Kijun-sen at 2050 as already mentioned. Now interestingly, looking at the bands here, and very important trading activity down through the bands, and this suggests that that very strong medium term bias that we had in this market, that up bias that we had in the market, has finished, definitely finished, and with the market trading down through into the middle of the bands, initially finding support there and breaching the middle band and then trading down below the lower band, suggests that very clearly that uptrend is over and there is a chance of a new downtrend forming. Now what we want to see, however, is a bearish breakout as we saw previously, but we want to see bearish follow through to confirm that, and we haven't seen that at the moment, so we'll be looking for that to occur. Any rally may find strong resistance around the middle of the bands, trading at 2095 at the moment. Next we'll take a look at stock Apple, AAPL, been in the news lately releasing a new product or a couple of new products. The second last candle here on the weekly chart is the one we're analysing. The last one is the one that's currently forming. But if we look at that black body candle following the indecisive spinning top type candle that we saw last week, suggested a potential change of trend, and that's exactly what we saw for last week. A candle with a lower high, lower low, an extension to the size of the black body, suggesting that we certainly could see continued further downside, and the sellers closing with control, so showing some commitment, whereas we hadn't seen any commitment from the sellers until we saw previously about 2 months ago with this black body candle at much lower levels. This black body candle suggests that we could see that trend continue, and if we do see the market trade lower, potential support down at the 120 level, this previous swing high, and also around the Tenkan-sen indicator around 119. On the right hand side, based on the bands on the weekly chart, we have the market still trading outside of the upper band, so a bullish bias in that medium term time frame, but potentially strong support at the top band at 123.88. And just looking at the daily Ichimoku chart on the left hand side, and we see the Tenkan-sen has been holding as resistance for the past week and a half or so, and that's the same here today. Small black body candle and the third consecutive small black body, but a market where we have a previous uptrend that changed for Friday's trading in force. Today's candle has been an indecisive spinning top type candle, testing down to the Kijun-sen indicator, bouncing off there. We see this large shadow on the bottom, so the sellers losing commitment down around that Kijun-sen, but the buyers losing commitment above the Tenkan-sen. So strong resistance overhead, strong support down below. The market is in an indecisive mode, and it's probably an indication that until everyone makes up their mind about the new products that have been released by Apple, then we're not likely to see any strong trending action. But if there are some definite opinions about those products, we certainly could see the market move strongly in either direction. So watching the Tenkan-sen resistance trading at 128.33 and the Kijun-sen support at 124.84. Now, just looking at the overall performance of Apple against the S&P 500 in this middle chart here on the left-hand side, and we saw for quite some time that we were travelling up above the upper band, suggesting we had a very strongly outperforming stock here against the S&P 500 over the past week and a half, while the market's been congesting and failing to close above the Tenkan-sen indicator. We've seen the relative strength move back towards the mean, so not strongly outperforming, not underperforming, so just an average performance against the S&P. But if we do see that relative strength dip below that lower band, it would suggest that there is a strong underperformance. And looking at volatility has been coming off all through this period as the market's been retracing, which is a natural process in a cyclical manner. The market moved through this high volatility situation, which was into this uptrend, congestion, and something of a pullback into this downtrend in volatility, and the market is likely to find a cyclical low soon, and then we could see volatility begin to tick up, and we could then see the price action begin trending. And at the moment, we have no clear direction on this daily chart. And on the right hand side, I think this highlights the lack of strong direction in the market at the moment, with the past three candles closing around the middle of the bands, and the candles testing down to the bottom band, finding support there at 124.76, trading up through the middle band and unable to close up above there. So it's quite some indecision in this market at the moment.